everybody. We are here in Hodgenville, Kentucky today, where we have discussed all things that are going to be happening at the Kentucky State Parks this summer with Seth Wheat, and a little bit about Hodgenville itself, which is Kentucky's newest trail town. We hope you listen in. We are here again with Seth Wheat with the Kentucky State Park System. Thanks for being with us again, Seth.
As always, thank you for having me.
And today we are in Hodgenville.
Yes.
And downtown Hodgenville, which is Kentucky's newest trail town.
Correct.
Which is, we'll have layers of things to discuss there. Hodgenville, for those of you who may not know, is where Abraham Lincoln was born. So there is a National Historic Site here, as well as it being Kentucky's newest trail town. And there's actually, this national park is actually 2 in 1.
It is. They have 2 different sites. Yeah, so his birthplace is, I'll say down the road for people that don't know where I'm talking about, just south of town. That's the main site here. They have another site that the National Park System operates just north of town, I would say. Both of these are off Highway 31E, and that's the area of his boyhood home. So they have 2 different sites there, both of them right off U.S. Highway 31E. And yeah, that's obviously their main calling card here is as Lincoln's birthplace. They keep a lot of things on brand here. If you spend any time in town, you can't get away from it, which is great.
Abe is everywhere.
Abe is everywhere. People can't see all of this room that we're in, but yeah, Abe is everywhere here. So that's absolutely their main claim to fame, and they've done a wonderful job. Not only marketing that, and promoting that, but I think educating the public about all there is to do. We're in, like you said, downtown Hodgenville in their wonderful community room they use for a whole host of different functions. Down the street, one way here, right off the square, is the Abraham Lincoln, the museum, which has tons of fascinating articles in there to view and to check out. And there's just Abraham Lincoln all over the place around here.
The first time I went into the Abraham Lincoln Museum, I was shocked. I mean, they have done such a good job of honoring their, I guess, favorite son. And so many different artifacts and things that you can learn about his life, his boyhood here, which it was short. It
was, yeah.
But it was significant still. And the national park sites that you mentioned, they are major trail opportunities as well. Right?
Yeah, each one has, yes ma'am, each one has a series of trails on them. I have not personally explored the trails up the road at the boyhood home site, but I've heard about them, and there was a trail that leads off the back of that property that goes up into the Knobs area. We're in the kind of the Knobs region of Kentucky, and what I've been told, and you can see some pictures online, is that, some of the best views in central Kentucky can be found up there. Local trail town committee is really involved in helping keep that trail in good shape for people, and it's what I would call kind of a hidden gem right here just outside town.
We've actually done it.
Have you done it? Okay, well, you tell me.
Exactly.
I'll interview you all. What's this trail like?
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so filled with surprises. I mean, you get up there at the top of the knob, and there's a pond. And that's something you don't find at the top of many knobs. And there's an Indian tree up there, or a Native American tree that they used to bend over to use as markers to, tell people they're on the right path or whatever. So that was fun. That's one of the first maybe Native American marker trees we'd ever really seen that up close. We went up on a pretty rainy day, so we experienced it in a different way than most. It's very muddy, but still great. And
I thought it was just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Yeah. And then, of course, Knob Creek is there as well, and it's crystal clear and beautiful, and it's lovely to walk along Knob Creek as well.
Yeah.
And the job that they've done with their interp center there, little visitor center. I mean, that's fascinating. They've
recently renovated, wasn't it?
Recently renovated. And, as you mentioned, they've done a lot of trail work with the Knob Creek Trail, the trail that goes all the way up the knob, too. So it's a real asset for the area.
Yep, it really is. There's tons of stuff to do around here. Really, the whole community in this whole area, I think, is kind of a bit of a hidden gem, but it shouldn't be. And hopefully that'll help today, all the stuff we're going to talk about. But there's so much to do here, so much I didn't know about until I started meeting with folks down here and talking about their trail town process and what all they had to do. And it's everything you want a trail town to be. Honestly, when we talk about trail towns in Kentucky, they're places that are good for adventure, that have fun outdoor things to do, but you also have to have the assets in the community too. Mm-hmm. And Hodgenville's got it in spades. We can talk about all the different things they've got that have been recognized and highlighted as, the best places to visit in Kentucky for whatever the category is. But it's been local folks who have taken an interest in their community, and that's what we want to see, that local buy-in, because that's the most sustainable way to do this kind of development, is when the community cares about it and takes ownership of it. So they've worked to build trails, they've worked to connect existing trail systems, they've worked to take care of them. The local school systems have gotten very involved in this, which is awesome to see, passing these ideas on to the future generation so that they care about these things and they're willing to take care of them. And they have some say in what happens too, right? I think a lot of times we forget that in this process. It's always about what our generations may want. And when you involve a community's youth, they can bring fresh ideas. And, if they've got an actual ownership stake in it, I think it makes it all the more sustainable. So I'm bragging on them a lot, but they deserve it. There's such a good group of folks here that are running the show and are trying to do things better for this town. We're happy to be just a small part of what I think is their massive success that they've got.
You can feel it. You can feel their community involvement on all the levels
Mm-hmm.
that you're speaking of. And you're right, the assets here for somebody who does love trails, to be able to get a great cup of coffee at a coffee shop, or, so many great places to eat, stay, other things that trail users are always looking for when they visit a place. They have it. And then,
and the people from this area, they're really proud of where they live.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And it shows. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Coffee from Bob Coffee, just down the road here. They've won the Best in Kentucky award for local coffee shop. I don't know how many times. I mean, just right here at this, we're at the square in
right.
the epicenter of Hodgenville, and just around the square, there's the Sweet Shop, which has also won this award. The Abraham Lincoln Museum, which has won the award for Best Museum in Kentucky. If I say the name right, I always mess it up. Hayes, right across the corner there for the best burgers in Kentucky. Yeah. I mean, it's all here. It's a 2-minute walk to anything.
You really are immersed in the best that Kentucky has to offer.
Yeah,
for sure. We've met the owners of the Sweet Shop and the owners of Hayes, and they work hard, and they what they're doing is excellent. They intend to do it excellently, or they don't do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really is what you were saying about the pride in what they're doing.
Yeah, and even though there's a lot to do here, it still has a slow pace feel.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
It's a good point.
The thing I learned about when I first started meeting with folks around here was, because I'd known about some of those places, I didn't know them as well as I do now, having spent more time here, but the trail systems here locally that I didn't know about, and particularly out at McDougal Lake, where the city owned property around a small reservoir, and they've put in, I don't know what the total number is, I'm looking at the map right now, a little over 10 miles it looks like of high quality single track trails out there for people. And then the Pyramid Forest that's managed by the Knob Creek Conservancy, and it's got a full longer name, the LaRue County Environmental Education and Research Center. But there's a small trail system out there too, through some really unique biological habitat, a very well preserved historic forest that they get kids out to regularly, and anyone can go out and hike these trails. And they've got those two trail systems connected now too.
Wow.
Through a trail called the Pyramid Pass that connects the McDougal Lake system over to the trails at Pyramid Forest. So, you can kayak on the lake. There are other smaller reservoirs right here, either in town or close to town, that are suitable for kayaks, for fishing. You've got U.S. cycling routes that are very near here. 76 travels east and west just north of town.
And 76 is the Trans-American.
Yes, the
right?
Trans-America route. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And it has a loop that goes off of it all the way down to Mammoth Cave and back. And then you've got U.S. Bike Route 23 that ends here outside of Hodgenville.
Right outside of Hodgenville, yeah.
There is a lot.
It's a lot.
And we haven't done the say it again.
McDougal Lake,
And
and then the LaRue County Environmental Education Center.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So each of those have their own trail systems, and they've got that connector trail between them now. So it's pretty great what all they've been able to build here, locally, just
right. We haven't
doing it
done
themselves.
either one of those, so we'll have to put those on our list.
Well, if you're interested in checking them out, particularly the trails at McDougal Lake, I will call out, they have the McDougal Lake Trail Fest in June.
Okay.
It's June 27th and June 28th. They've got information about it online. So if you're anywhere around this area and you want to come see what all we're talking about today, that'd be an
Sure.
excellent time to come down. They've got, events going on all weekend. So I would highly suggest visiting the website and checking out
That'd be
McDougal
great.
Lake Trail Fest. Yep.
Yeah, that would be a great time. We've done all the trails at both national historic sites, but we didn't know about those. So
Yeah.
you're teaching us this morning, for sure.
Well, I had to be taught too. Yeah, it's just, the community just said, we're putting a value on this.
Yeah.
This is something we want for our community. They were behind it. Local leadership was behind it. The mayor's office was involved. The county judge executive has been supportive of all this. So when you have that kind of alignment, primarily from the community members themselves, but also when leadership understands this is what the community wants to see, the school system, like I said, it's this, nucleus of
Layers.
everybody kind of trying to row in the same direction. And that's the best way to get things done. And that's the best way to really set the course for what you want your community to be. Yeah.
And when all those things align like that, good things happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. 1,000%. So there's just so much going on here.
There really is.
So happy to be able to count them as one of our trail towns. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They bring so much to the table and kind of elevate the whole program.
Well, and we've talked so much about Kentucky's amazing assets, all of our trail towns. So it's great also to see that program is still growing and bringing other, opportunities into people to make us a bigger target for those who do love to cycle or hike or whatever, or kayak, as you mentioned, paddling. There's so much going on. What's going on with the Kentucky State Parks?
All kinds of stuff. We're barreling headlong into the summer season. Memorial Day will be here before we know it. June and National Trails Day, the first weekend in June, will be here before we know it. So we'll have a whole series of special hikes around National Trails Day, and outside of state parks, so many other of our partners will too. But some of our national park properties, some of our trail towns will do special events for National Trails Day. So I always encourage people to check all the online calendars for things that are going on all around National Trails Day. If I'm not mistaken, that's also free fishing weekend in Kentucky, that first weekend in June.
Wow.
So if you've never tried fishing, I highly recommend it. You can go fishing without a license.
Why not?
The Department of Fish and Wildlife will do, I think, programs throughout the state too, geared around teaching people how to fish and stuff like that. So that's a huge weekend for anybody interested in the outdoors in Kentucky. Some other state park specific stuff we've got coming up, and bear with me here. I want to make sure I don't miss the ones I wanted to talk about. We have the Spring Fling Craft Show, which is going to happen May 16th at Rough River Dam State Resort Park, which is where we were last time we talked in December.
We discussed that last time.
Did we talk about that last time?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think you just kind of gave a nod that they're the craft opportunities and the art scene over there. I mean,
They've really leaned into that, and
Yes.
this is one of their bigger events of the year, built around the local craftsmen and things like that. So that's happening May 16th out at Rough River Dam. They'll have a ton of local artisans there selling stuff, demonstrating stuff. So I highly recommend that if you're into that. Carter Cave State Resort Park, which we talk about a lot, they have so many awesome events and programs that happen all throughout the year. But during the summer, and I believe they've got 2 separate dates for this, they do the underground pool party in one of their caves, which is a really cool event. It's the only time you're able to really do something like that. The first one, it looks like, is June 17th. And they've got all sorts of different cave experiences and other outdoor experiences happening all the time. All that's on our website, parks.ky.gov. But the underground pool party is one of the cooler ones that I think we do.
They just have so many layers at that park of things you can do.
Yeah.
Caving, hiking, paddling, adventuring.
I should be able to call their trail mileage off the top of my head, but I can't. It's something like 30-some miles of trails out there, I think.
So many.
So many miles of trails.
And the geological formations
Yeah.
that you see on those trails are just, I've probably mentioned this before. Somebody said to us one time, you should do Box Canyon. We're like, it's a little bit more remote. Carter Cave's property, but we did it, and we were like, oh my word, this is why they wanted. I mean, the geological formations we saw were just unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty striking out there. Isn't it?
It's amazing.
The paddling they do on Tigers Creek, I think, is awesome.
We haven't done that. Yeah.
I guess I'd say lesser known paddling experiences up there. And then they have Smoky Valley Lake on Park also that you can paddle and fish on and all
We've
that.
paddled on it.
Have you done that one?
We've paddled on that lake, yeah.
Let me check my notes here. Oh, there's a really cool hike coming up at John James Audubon.
Oh.
Let me find it. It's a twilight hike. Again, another park that does all kinds of great
And they've had that
programs and
expansion,
activities,
right?
all throughout the year. A great team out there. This one is also ADA accessible, so I wanted to make sure I called it out. This Twilight Hike, it's on June 13th, because at John James Audubon, I say recently, it's been several years ago now, the state park was able, with a number of partners, to acquire an additional piece of property, a wetlands property. I've probably talked about it on here, but we've got a fully ADA accessible boardwalk trail that goes through the wetlands down there. So, and that's an amazing time to be at night with all the different flora and fauna you'll see out there. So wanted to make sure I drew attention to that one too. Lots of summer camps going on at several of our parks. EP Tom Sawyer up in Louisville does a number of summer camps throughout the summer. They've got the big community pool up there too. It's a very busy place in the summertime, but if you're anywhere around Louisville and you've not been up there, check it out. Discovery Day at Big Bone Lick is June 13th. There's so much to learn about at Big Bone Lick up in northern Kentucky. It's just a ton of stuff, going on all across the state right now. We try to keep folks busy, try to keep folks educated, and wherever you're at in Kentucky, there's a park nearby. We've talked about that, but there's also programs and events that are going on. So as you're looking for things to do, particularly over this summer, stuff to do with the kids or stuff to do, couples getaway, whatever it is, make sure you're getting online, checking out the events, and making plans to come see us at one of our parks.
And just listening to you roll through that, there's so many layers of things so many layers of interests. I cannot imagine what Discovery Weekend or Discovery Day at Big Bone Lick would be about because there's so many things you could talk about there. We so enjoyed our time with your Interp staff when we did a podcast with them up there. I mean, just the history there is phenomenal.
Yeah, deep history. Yeah. Real history, right? It's so they'll have Ice Age fossils.
Ice Age
they'll have
history,
settler
yeah.
life. There'll be birds of prey, alt-lattle. I can never say that word right. Alt-lattle throwing, different types of environmental education and crafts. They'll have food trucks on site. The bison are always there. Go see the bison herd. There's a great trail around the pasture where the bison live with a new viewing platform. So yeah, Big Bone's it's always a good time to go up there. But if you want to really see some cool stuff, check them out on Discovery Day on June 13th.
Yeah. And then you mentioned EP Tom Sawyer. That pool is amazing. It's such a good, the facility is so great there.
They used to have an orienteering course that was set up there.
Course.
And to be honest, I'm not sure if that's still active, but we partnered with Orienteering USA and they set up a course out there at EP Tom. I need to check if that's still active.
It was there when we were there.
Was it still there?
Which was last year?
Last year.
Yeah, we set up courses at a few different parks. I think Carter Caves had one. I believe Barren River had one. So I need to check on the status of that because it was a big deal for a while.
Layers and layers of things that could interest people, or you could try for the first time, and see if it's for you. So, yeah.
One thing about all the state parks, and we've been to all of them, across the board, the staff are so great. They're so hospitable, so welcoming. They're always willing to lend a hand or to educate you in some way. They're very, very helpful.
Make a suggestion. Make sure you're not missing something.
Make a suggestion, yeah.
That's been our experience at every single one. Don't forget. Yeah. Make sure you don't miss, Can I help you? What can,
I think they just care deeply about the parks they work
do.
at. I think that shows
tell.
through. That's the driving force behind that. Yeah. And we're so fortunate to have the team that we do out in the field where we've got one, knowledgeable staff, that know what's going on. They know their parks. And two, like we just talked, like you just said, Tony, they care about it and they want to share it with the visitors. I mean, that makes all the difference in the world. And we see that, we try to track our progress across a number of different areas. with guest surveys and feedback, and consistently our staff rate highest among anything. And that's, a real point of pride for them, and it should be. We're very fortunate to have the team that we do, trying to take care of these places and do the best we can every single day.
It's a lot to maintain.
It is a lot.
A lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And there are still some renovations happening
Absolutely.
across the state.
Beautiful segue. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's we're kind of deep into it right now at a number of parks. So several parks were overdue for some needed upgrades, be they stuff it could be something that the guest will see, obviously, like lodge renovations at places like Lake Cumberland, Lake Barkley, Jenny Wiley State Resort Park. A lot of behind the scenes things too. And you all have heard me talk about that in the past too. There's so much infrastructure we have to manage. There's so many things that are required for these parks and these facilities to be functional that the guests may not see when they come on a visit, but they're still vitally important. So a number of those things are going on. We're renovating a ton of campgrounds across the state right now. Some of our busiest campgrounds are going to be getting renovations to better accommodate today's camper, especially people that are using travel trailers. Those things have gotten larger, require more electricity, so we're trying to meet the needs of our guests, and it'll be a really great thing when all of these renovation projects are done. There's some growing pains or whatever you want to call it as we go through it, but it'll be worth it on the back end. So we're thankful for the support we've gotten to bring some of these things online and get them where they need to be, for sure.
And if you're planning a trip, they can find all of this information on your website.
On the website. That's that's the best place to start. Go to our website. You'll see a banner at the top of the website that says we're currently undergoing renovations, and you can click a button to learn more that'll specifically list which parks are getting renovations and what's being worked on. And in some cases, like at Cumberland Falls, the lodge is getting renovated there, but the rest of the park's still open. You can still go view the waterfall. You can still go camping. The cottages are still available for overnight guests. The trails are still open. So, make sure you read close, figure out exactly what's being renovated and what's still open. But there's opportunities still all across the system to go out and do things. Go to the website first, and then you all have also heard me. I don't know if I got to talk about this in the last two podcasts or just the last one, but our state parks app, which is managed through a platform called Outer Spatial. So you can find information about it online. You can pull your phone out, search it there, and it'll prompt you to download that. It is primarily in my mind, it's primarily an app for like trails mapping. And to find out where all of our different points of interest are on a state park. So you can see where the lodges, you can see where picnic shelters are, trailheads, the trail systems themselves. It's all of our data that our a GIS team uploaded there, so it's all accurate. It's all kept up to date by the team. But also, there's so many different social functions there. We still have our statewide state park passport challenge going on, where you can visit every single park, and you earn badges on your Outer Spatial profile, unique to every park you visit. There will be new challenges and new campaigns coming out to highlight some different things we've got going across parks. You can share feedback on there. You can share your own adventures on there. We can create outings, and the staff is busy putting all these things together right now. So check back often, because there's new stuff being uploaded on there all the time. Like you all mentioned, talking with the staff. To me, this is another way to get feedback or interaction from the staff too, because we've asked the team to put on some unique experiences on their own individual park. So you may look at a trail map and see we've got 10 different trails, but which ones are the best? Or if I want to see particular things, or which ones did the staff like? And they can create these curated experiences where maybe they combine trail 1, 2, and 4 to make a specific loop of a specific distance and see these certain features. So again, it's a way we can kind of curate different things on park that we all know about, or that the staff knows about, that we want to highlight and make it easier to find for the guests, which you may not be able to do that if you're just looking at a static map or looking at another trail mapping service. You don't really know how to build that unique experience.
Makes it so much more personal.
I hope so. But yeah, there's just a ton of information on there.
Okay, good to know. It's such a great resource. I think you teased the coming of the app maybe 2 podcasts ago.
And then we talked about it
and
at
then
Christmas.
we talked about it at Christmas. But it's good to know that, all of this is fluid, that, the park staff are still able to go in there. It's not like one and done.
No.
Kind of with a website, we create web pages that stand for a long time.
Yes.
And are the same. So it's great to know that there's interaction with the app and the staff to give you all the kind of insider information, if you will.
It's very dynamic. We've also got events on there too, just like on our webpage.
Okay.
We've got a calendar of events on there so you can see what's coming up at all the parks. And I guess I shouldn't bury the lead either, but it's also free to download. So that's a big deal for the guests. So, it doesn't cost anything to download. You don't get hit with a bunch of ads while you're on there. It's a very user-friendly app experience.
Very clean,
yes,
very,
ma'am. Yep.
That's great.
National parks in Kentucky are also on there.
Okay.
And I'm hopeful we'll get even more trail systems added possibly in the near future to create, even a more holistic trail user experience for all the different trail assets and outdoor assets we have in Kentucky. Outer Spatial works with land managers across the country. They're in several states. There's several other state park systems on there. And you look at some of our neighbors and they've got all sorts of different trail systems on there. So you can really see when you're in a particular area, if you're traveling, just what all there is to do in the outdoors, and it makes a really good experience for the users.
Sounds like it's very interconnected.
It is, yes, ma'am. Yep.
And you led with the GIS and the mapping and everything. When you're going somewhere and you're wanting to really see what's there and use the trail systems, that's the most important thing, is to know where everything is. That's knowing that you all have that covered, primary and foremost, is a huge gift to those who are trying to use the properties. Mm-hmm. So,
are the trails on the trail towns?
No, not yet, Tony.
Just a state park.
Perhaps one day.
State and national.
If we could figure that out, that would be a great addition, I think. Yeah. Right now it's just national parks and state parks in Kentucky. Like I said, other states have. Ohio is one that always comes to mind. They have 30-ish different organizations or agencies that have uploaded their trail data on there. So a lot of local community managed trails or regional trail systems, all that's on there. So we're working towards that in Kentucky for sure. The trail data will also work offline, which is a big deal. Obviously, you don't want folks to get lost. You can download that data and it'll work even if you don't have, Wi-Fi or cell service there. So that's a big deal too. So
especially in some parts of Kentucky,
yep.
which is the more beautiful places.
A lot of times,
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times for sure.
The more beautiful things get, the slower the Wi-Fi or the, just the thinner the cell service is. So anyway.
But we've got, every point of interest on a park is on there. All of our cottages. So if you're wanting to make a reservation at a park and you don't know, do I want to stay in a lodge? Do I want to stay in a cottage? Well, you can get on Outer Spatial and see where each specific cottage or cabin is. Mm-hmm. If it's maybe near a trailhead you want to explore, maybe you go that route. It's got all of our campgrounds on there with the individual campsites. Like I said, all the points of interest on the park are on there. So it's a really cool way. I find myself even just spending time on there sometimes in the evening, when I'm just wasting time on my phone, just kind of looking around at the different parks and seeing stuff that I'm not as familiar with myself. Yeah. So it's fun to just play around with too.
That's fun. Yeah. That's fun to know. Thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Because I'm guessing them pretty well. Better than most.
I don't know. The more I'm around and doing this, the more I realize I don't know. I'm learning stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've said this before, but Kentucky, we've been to several states and gotten to go to state parks in many states. And Kentucky's are just so good. It's just a wonderful collective of state parks that we have here. I do believe it's probably the best in the nation. I hate to be so.
Well, that was the tagline, right? We were the nation's finest. We are the nation's finest. And that means a lot of different things.
To a lot of different people, I know. But
I think the backbone of that tagline and of what that meant was, though, it's kind of what we talked about earlier, Tony, with the people cared to make them that way. Mm-hmm. One, the staff. They each have such a deep connection to the parks they work at. A lot of them are right from the areas where they work. They know the history of it. They have that personal connection. But also, in the broader sense, the people of Kentucky wanted them to be that way, right? You had support across the board for our state parks, and that guided us and still does for so many decades. You all know we just turned 100 years old a couple years ago, and some of our parks are celebrating their 100th birthday this year. So be on the lookout for those events coming on the calendar also.
Good tip.
But it's a commitment. It can't just be us as state parks. It has to be,
what Kentucky wants.
And I think they've shown their commitment to manage and take care of these places.
Well, the renovations that we were speaking of wouldn't be happening without a continued commitment to maintenance and supporting the infrastructure that exists.
And that's not a uniquely Kentucky problem. There was a big push a couple of years ago to get funding for all the deferred maintenance at all of our national park properties.
Yes,
we see this across the country. It's just a cycle of life, I think. But we always come back to, we've got to take care of these places. They're important. And that's the important thing.
Well, it sounds like an exciting season about to begin.
Yeah, we're on the edge of it right now.
Yeah.
Schools will be out before we know it. I can't believe the year's gone by like this.
It's crazy how busy.
It seems like everything has happened so fast this spring. Easter was so early, it seems. Derby so early. It seems, that the years just goes by so quickly. Somebody came in the store the other day and said they were going to petition for Christmas to just hit every other year because everything's going so fast. And I thought I've never heard that before, but I could sign that petition. And I love Christmas, but it does seem like time goes so fast now.
Well,
I guess we're enjoying it so much.
That's
I don't know.
Maybe that's it. There's always this weird transition when you flip the calendar it feels awkward to write the new year down. I feel like I've not gotten used to writing 2026 still, and that's awful to say as we sit here in May but the year's just flown by.
Time, it seems, goes so fast, and it is important to take a segment of time to put it away for trail use or state park going, because I do think that it's in those places that time does slow down for us.
I agree.
And we can, it seems like those are the things we remember. They say that, memory is tied to emotion and feeling. And I guess it's just a feeling of immersing yourself in nature that makes us feel like time slows down. I don't know.
To me, it's the mental benefits, the health benefits, that becomes more important every single year. What we were just talking about, how busy we all are with our lives, with our jobs, with the things we do on our cell phones all the time and on our computers. Finding time to do just what you said, Rochelle, is more important now than ever. And it's proven that it helps. Yeah. I can't call the studies off the top of my mind right now, but when we first started talking about trail towns, the whole idea was the economic benefit, the tourism benefit that it comes from inviting people outside your community in to make the economic impact. That is still important. Those things still hold true. But now I find myself talking more about the other reasons why this type of work is important. And the physical health and the mental health. We have to find these times that we can connect with nature because it is so good for our mind, body, and soul. It's just more important now than it's ever been. And studies are showing that from America, from across the world, they're able to quantify how much time you spend in certain environments, what it does for regulating our nervous systems, dealing with anxiety, all the things. All the things across the board.
Yeah. And it is, I am so glad that we are spending money in research to prove the impact that nature does have on us. And if you live in Kentucky or if you're visiting Kentucky, you really have no excuses. I mean, everything, as we've discussed, there's a state park near you, there's a trail town near you, there's all kinds of ways. And I shouldn't say we. I think I know most trails in the state of Kentucky, and we've used most trails. But like this morning, sitting here with you, we've learned about 2 trail systems here in Hodgenville that we didn't know existed. So, we can't, if you live in Kentucky, if you're visiting Kentucky, there's easy access to something to do outside all the time. Yeah. If wherever you are.
Yes, agreed. That's part of
it. Kentucky, the infrastructure, the state park system, the trail towns have really made it. They've relieved boundaries.
Yeah. Barriers to entry is one of the common phrases you hear in this. It talks about that's really dealing with folks that have maybe never done this type of thing before and they want to try it out. And it can be intimidating if you've never gone hiking or if you've never ridden a bike or been in a kayak. It can be intimidating.
Of course.
It doesn't have to be. Go check out one of our events at a state park. Go visit with our staff and let them help you. Go to a trail town. Enjoy or join along with like a local trail club. There are so many of those popping up all throughout the state now. It doesn't have to be intimidating. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. Work it at your own pace, but taking that first step, if you'll pardon the bad pun, to get yourself outdoors, to make this part of your routine, part of your lifestyle, I think you'll find that it pays dividends in the short term and the long term.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like a reset. Anytime you are able to get out in nature, even if it's just for an afternoon or a day or a weekend, whatever, you get reset.
It's like just like turning your computer on and off again, right? When stuff gets it doesn't work as fast. It's not working like it should.
Right.
That's what they always tell you to do. Turn it off and turn it back on again. That's what it does for us. I absolutely believe that. Yep.
Even an hour.
Even an hour on a trail.
We took our, with my parents and our grandkids, we hit Sloan's Pond a couple of weeks ago just for an hour.
We did too.
Yeah. And it's such a lovely time to be at Sloan's Pond. Not that, we're supposed to be talking about that right now.
Sloan's Pond over at Mammoth Cave. If you've never been, it's great. Right off the rail trail there, which is one of my favorite trails anywhere. It's close to where we live, but I love it.
And my mom had brought, some graham crackers for the kids, and then we sat down for a little while. And it's just lovely. The art of a little picnic. We don't even, think about how enjoyable and calming that can be. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate.
We went out there, it's probably been a month or so ago now, and I have two kids at home. One's in elementary school, one's almost 2. When the first one was born, we got one of those backpack carriers, and we hiked him around quite a bit, and then that got put up into cold storage until here recently. So I pulled that thing out, put the little one in it, and we didn't do anything that expansive. I think we did 2 miles, maybe 2.25, but I hauled him around, and I was flat worn out. I thought I was in pretty good shape.
Strap a toddler to your back.
Yeah, strap a toddler to your back. So it's the health benefit. I needed that, right? Yeah. I needed the workout. Yeah. But it was great. It's fun. We try to do it as often as we can. We're fortunate because we live close to Mammoth Cave. We're close to Barren River. There's other trail systems around us where we're at. But like you said,
there's something everywhere.
Something everywhere. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Something everywhere.
And we always leave those experiences going, we got to do this more often, But it does. You're right. It takes that first step. And easily accessible trails like Sloan's Pond, which is also boardwalk, the John James Audubon newer
boardwalk trail,
boardwalk trail over the wetlands. I mean, those are just such great opportunities for families who just want to, pack a stroller, go out. That's an easy first trail. A trail you can take a stroller on, I mean, that's easy.
We've pushed the stroller on that rail trail at Mammoth Cave. There's a paved trail at Barren River we've used quite a bit. Yeah. It's got some elevation to it at 2 different parts. Outside of that, though, it's super easy to use with the stroller. We recognize we need more experiences like that, particularly in state parks, and we're actively working towards that. Hopefully the next time we can talk, I can actually share good news on that front too.
We like it when you
let us
know there's exciting things coming.
We're trying to do better in that realm. The Dawkins Line Rail Trail, I've probably talked about that here before. It's the state's longest rail trail. That was paved a couple years ago. So that makes that trail system a much more accessible trail system. Again, there's some elevation there. But for people with mobility limitations, it's somewhere they can absolutely explore. Moms with strollers, that's another thing that we sometimes overlook when we think about accessibility, but that's a big deal for them too.
It's a big deal.
There's a couple of cool experiences out in Western Kentucky always, because we get this question a lot. Out at Kentucky Dam, you can take a trail that starts right there at the beach at the state park, which is obviously at the dam, its namesake. And there's a trail that goes all the way across the top of the dam, flat as a pancake, wide. It's separated from traffic. It's a great experience.
We haven't done it, but we've watched people do it.
Yeah, it's busy all the time.
Yeah.
Busy all the time. We've got great partners in the town of Calvert City out there at Kentucky Dam, and there's a paved trail that connects Calvert City over to the state park now too.
I didn't realize that.
There's just so much good stuff going on all over Kentucky. Yeah.
Really something for everybody. Yeah. Well, thank you for sitting down with us again and talking about what's happening at Kentucky State Parks and introducing us to what's happening in Hodgenville.
Yeah,
The newest trail
The
town.
newest trail town is our 31st. The only trail town we certified last year. That's about the pace we're at now. We've been doing this program for a long time now. I actually got to talk with a group of trail town managers from all across the country recently, and it's just a informal group that gets together to share best practices and lessons learned and things like that. And they wanted to talk from people that manage it in a statewide level, and we're one of very few states that do that. We were the first to do that. Got its benefits, got its challenges, but we're happy to help elevate the outdoors in Kentucky. We think it's a very powerful way to do that, I guess.
It's a great objective.
So definitely come visit Hodgenville, see all the great things they've got going on here in town, and all the trail systems we talked about. They're all over, online, social media. They're not hard to find, so check them out and look forward for what trail towns may be coming in the future too. Yeah.
That's always exciting. And if you wonder where the trail towns are, you can just go on Kentucky Tourism's website. Yep. And there's a listing of all the trail towns with links to more information.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. As
Always
always.
good to have you.